Hi, I'm TJ, and today I learned that FIFA's old logo was a pair of testicles.
And I'm Mo. Go!
Very nice.
Thank you. And this is...
It's still new to us, damn it.
Welcome to Student Last Down. I'm Mo, he's TJ, he just said, and we're here to watch every movie ever made so it can be very interesting at parties.
That's right.
Yes.
We're almost there.
Almost there, yes.
We've watched, this is our third season, so almost 18, 20 films.
Yeah.
Cool.
I approached a girl one time, so that was interesting. I did ask her for the salt and pepper, but that's about it.
That's a big
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
That's a very big step.
step, yeah.
Did you get the salt and pepper?
No.
Well, hey.
No.
Maybe after she finds out that you've watched United Passions.
Yeah.
Then you'll get that salt and
So
pepper.
definitely no.
Yeah. So, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I lost some weight.
Good.
I'm like 248 right now, so that's good. I used to be like around 260.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm down 15, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gave up alcohol for Lent. I'm not particularly religious, so it's not out of piety or, health concerns. It's because my cousin my cousin told me I couldn't do it. So, never underestimate, listeners, the power of spite and pettiness.
Yeah. Isn't your cousin like 16 years old?
No, he's 23.
Okay.
He just acts like a... No, he just acts like he's 16.
Okay, that's great. So I guess we should talk about this movie.
Enough stalling. We have to get to this shit.
We're not good at banter yet. We gotta figure out how banter.
No, but there's no real segue into this, is there?
No, it's really not.
So this was one of your selections.
Yes.
Tell the people why you selected United Passions.
Okay, so once again, as the people know, or if people don't know, I selected movies from the 2010s. So I chose the best movie of the 2010s, the worst movie of the 2010s, and the most meh movie of the 2010s. Now, I would definitely say Mapplethorpe was the most meh movie I've ever seen before in my life.
It was very meh.
Very meh.
Yeah, and we still have to watch Moonlight, which was listed as the best, right?
Yes, one of the best. Yeah, definitely. If it wasn't number one, it was definitely on the lists of best movies of the 2010s.
And this one, today's movie, was listed as bar none the worst.
I think, I think all the other movies, like compared to other movies, Rotten Tomatoes score wise, this one has a 0.
A 0.
And even Jack and Jill, that Bucky movie that had Nick Fortson in it, like all those movies, those don't have zeros. This has a 0.
Because some goofball in New Mexico or something that writes for a local paper mildly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is impressive. What's more impressive, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or 0%?
I think it's 0. Like, how can you get some, I think, Birdemic, Shock and Terror, I don't think that has a 0.
Okay. Seen the first one.
The Last Airbender, I don't think that has a 0.
Terrible, yeah.
Bucky Larson, I don't think that's a 3%, so that's close.
That's the Nick Swardson one, right?
That's the Nick Swardson one, yeah. Bucky Larson, A Star Is Born. Jack and Jill, I don't think has a 3. It does have a 3%.
Wow.
Okay, that's my boy.
How does Al Pacino get involved in these movies?
I don't know. How much money do you think Adam Sandler paid Al Pacino to be in this movie? Not be in this movie, but...
Probably an exorbitant amount.
I would say... $6 million. If you pay me $6 million, I'll be...
Any movie.
In any movie, but if they have the acting powers of Robert De Niro... I'm sorry, Al Pacino... Yeah, you would pay me that much to be in a movie like this.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely. That's my boy, 20%, Food Fight. Ever heard of Food Fight?
No.
It's an animated movie from 2012. It features, mascots from food stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it stars all this, Charlie Sheen, Wayne Brady, Hilary Duff, Eva Longoria. It's, the worst animated movie I've seen for my life. Really badly animated. No humor at all. It's just so bad. I don't even know, that percentage, but I don't think that has a 0 either. I can look it up right now. Let's see, food. Yeah, but I don't think that has a 0. But, it's very... There's only, a select few films that have a 0. And this is one of them. Definitely. May not even have one. Let's see. Yeah, this doesn't even have a tomato meter, but...
Oh my god.
So nobody reviewed it, but yeah, so it's very addictive. So this has a 0.
The coveted 0%.
Coveted 0%.
Not a single critic enjoyed this movie.
No.
So...
Yeah. The only one that matches the 0% of this decade is a movie called Run for Your Wife, a British comedy movie.
And that one's also 0?
That one's also 0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even movie 43 has more than that, eh?
Yeah, 4%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's one. That's like legendarily bad. I haven't seen that, but
there's another one called Humshackles. That's a Bollywood movie.
Mm-hmm.
Saving Christmas, 0.
Oh, is it Kirk Cameron or whatever?
Cameron one. Yeah. United Passions, 0.
Terrific.
Dirty Grandpa. Not the...
I always think about the Jackass one.
Yeah, that's not that one.
Bad Grandpa or something? So this is the one with Robert De Niro?
Zac Efron, yeah. 0. 11%.
Okay.
Guardians, a Russian superhero film. Only 33%. Like, so mostly 0% are saved for, like, mostly a lot of foreign films.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even sure Cats got 0.
This is a foreign film, isn't it?
Yeah, technically a British film, yeah. It's a British film. So, a lot of foreign films got 0 stars.
But interestingly...
0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
English language.
English language, yeah.
Yeah.
Cats has 19%. So Cats is better than this movie.
19% of critics enjoyed Cats, eh?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Now, all these movies are terrible, but compared to, like... I say, like, the only movies that are good, the only movies... This is insane. Like, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Of how much, like... I would hate some of these movies, and some of these movies have better scores than Rotten Tomatoes. Of course, Rotten Tomatoes does not really matter that much, but it's just insane to think about.
No, but it is interesting to see such a widespread consensus. You know, critics are so diverse, realistically, and to see such consensus is rare, and it's impressive, honestly. It's a credit to the direction, the production, the acting, everything. Or in these cases, lack thereof, maybe.
Yeah. Speaking of direction, let's find out who's in this movie and who directed it.
Sounds
and who wrote
good.
it. So United Passion, released in 2014, directed by Frederic Arbutin, and screenplay written by Frederic Arbutin and Jean-Paul Duffano. Frederic Arbutin did not direct a lot of movies after this.
Okay.
I think he was doing short films before he directed United Passion, and then after United Passion, he's just like, he doesn't direct anything at all.
Weird, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. It stars Gerard Depardieu, who's a very famous actor. He's been very famous French actor. He's been in multiple movies, won countless awards. I would say we probably wouldn't know him that much from like American cinema, but he was in I believe the 1990s version of Cyrano de Bergerac, or 1989 version.
Okay.
And also the movie Bogus, where he plays an imaginary friend of a little boy whose parental guidance is Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sam Neill of Jurassic Park, and you know the movie Bicentennial Man?
Oh, I hated that fucking movie. Yeah.
I remember mentioning it when I was little, but I haven't watched it since.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
So it's about Robin Williams is an android who becomes human? Is that?
Yeah, and he lived for like 200 years, hence the name. So it's like all about watching the original family he lived with grow old and die, and like the little girl that he grew up with and was like best friends with grows up and is like a punk, like as a teenager, and she tells him off. I think I remember that. I don't remember much of it. I saw it in theaters as a kid when it came out, and I hated it then, and frankly, my opinion probably could be a lot different now, but I'm not going to give the movie that chance.
Yeah.
I love Robin Williams. He was a national treasure. That movie was fucking boring. Sucked.
Yeah, Robin Williams belongs in the 90s. It was like after, I think, Jumanji, which is just an okay movie.
Yeah.
Because then you got Patch Adams, which people hate. Yeah. You got Jack. You remember Jack, where he played a 10-year-old, but in a body of a...
That was awful, too.
Of a 40-year-old man.
You know who directed that movie?
Yeah, it was, oh my god, I know this. It was, Francis Ford Coppola.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like the greatest director, one of the greatest directors of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so you got Patch Adams, Jack, you got Bicentennial Man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so his 90s was a little bit hit or miss, because he was
Fisher King.
He was in The Fisher King, he was in Aladdin.
Yeah.
But he was in Toys, the Barry Levinson movie.
Oh, sure.
Which is the other Fairly Class's Passion project.
Death to Smoochie might have been 2000s.
Yeah, Death to Smoochie was 2000s, yeah. So his was kind of hit or miss, but...
Yeah. But hey, you know...
He's Robin Williams.
He's Robin Williams, and we still love him.
Yeah.
That fucking movie, Bicentennial Man, though, you know what would have been the greatest ending for that is... He becomes sentient, and he realizes how flawed humans are and what they're doing to this beautiful planet, and he just exterminates the family and goes on a one-robot spree of trying to end humanity. That would have made it great.
Yeah. Tim Roth is also in this movie. Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
Of course. And Planet of the Apes.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember a thing about that movie. I just remember what Kevin Smith told me about the monkey Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, but
that's it.
How Burton stole it from him,
yeah.
quote unquote. Yeah,
that's it. I don't remember a thing about that movie. Like,
it's pretty bad. It's pretty forgettable anyway.
So in that universe, does that mean that all monkeys are like?
It's
actually followed all history then.
So it actually models itself more after the book Planet of the Apes. In the book, it's not the ending from the Charlton Heston movie where it turns out it's Earth the whole time.
Yeah, Earth has been destroyed by nuclear war.
Correct.
And then apes have now. Well, I guess we evolved from apes. I'm guessing apes are now evolving into us.
Kinda, yeah. So
yeah, but not fully yet.
In the book and the Burton movie, they have the same ending. Basically, there's no Lincoln Memorial in the book, but something similar, where he comes back to Earth and finds, an ape driving a car, basically, and the implication is that humans destroyed each other, and meanwhile apes evolved to be the higher race because humans just obliterated each other to the point where the only remainers were mute and stupid. Yeah, that's the idea there, anyway.
Okay, so wait, the planet he escapes from is Earth then? And so he just...
Correct. In the book, he was a human from Earth. He physically went to another planet.
Oh, that was also down to apes.
Came back to Earth only to find that the same fate had met humans on his home planet.
Yeah.
That's the route the Burton movie and the book take. I personally think the Heston movie does the best.
Really?
It's so impactful.
Even the new ones? The new Planet of the Apes movies?
Love them. Oh, yeah.
Those are good.
Them.
Is Tim Roth in one of the new Planet of the Apes movies?
I don't know.
I think
he's in a lot of shit.
I think he is, actually. Let's see.
If he is, that's impressive. He was the bad chimpanzee, though, in the Burton one.
Yeah, I don't think he was in any other ones. I think he was just
he was in The Hateful Eight. Yep. Obviously, Reservoir Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, Mr. Pink?
Yeah, Tim Roth has a very illustrious career, especially in Britain. He was in a bunch of Mike Leigh stuff. He was a very famous British director. Yeah, so they have some talent here, like some genuine talent. Some of the best actors around, and it has failed so spectacularly. The budget of this movie was $32 million, according to Wikipedia. I believe in Box Office Mojo and in IMDb it said 19 million euros. So that's equated to 20 million to our money.
Okay.
To US money. Okay, and you know how much this grossed, TJ?
Not that much.
No, this is not. Okay, so you're looking at the Wikipedia right now. That says like 186,000 and like 721, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The actual one from Box Office Mojo is $170,904. Worldwide, the international box office was $1,701.511. I think I said that right, hopefully. Here in America, this only goes $607.
Oh,
that's how much. It was only released in 10 theaters in about 10 cities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how much it made.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
And I know that, wasn't this movie funded basically by
FIFA, yeah.
FIFA itself?
Half the budget was from FIFA.
Now that's integrity in journalism, or in film in this case,
definitely.
Isn't it? Yeah. It's like when Michael Jordan produced The Last Dance. And like they have like a 5-minute blurb about, he was gambling, but he was fine. He was doing it responsibly.
Yeah. How he didn't really go for any candidates or anything, so that way he would seem partial to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, so we talked about who's in this movie, how much it made and stuff. TD, what the hell is this movie about?
Well, Mo, United Passions is a dramatized retelling of the founding of the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA, and its creation of the iconic World Cup tournament. Told in two halves, the first half focuses on the organization's third president, Jules Rimet, and his institution of the tournament, and the second half focuses on the seventh and eighth presidents, Havelange and Sepp Blatter, the latter of which it ultimately is tasked with cleaning up FIFA's internal corruption, which threatens his presidency, at least in the film. In the end, no hilarity ensues. South Africa selected the host of 2010 World Cup, and the audience is left rooting for Sepp Blatter in his fight to clean up FIFA.
Woo!
Yeah, go
he sure
Sepp
did.
Blatter.
Yeah.
So that is the synopsis of this movie. Now let me ask you, as a sport, are you a soccer fan?
No.
No? I respect the hell out of it. I think it's a great game. I don't ever really watch it.
No.
But
we're Americans, so we...
Yeah.
not really popular. I mean, it's gaining popularity, definitely. I mean, I grew up with
100%.
kids who watch Messi and all those guys.
I think,
and our friends are definitely big soccer fans. So yeah,
I think it's an unbelievable feat of conditioning that athletes can even play that game. I mean, it's unreal what kind of shape you have to be in to play that game, and I respect the hell out of them. But I admit, maybe it's just because I am born and raised American. I prefer American football. I prefer basketball. I prefer hockey.
Yeah.
And the flopping. I can't stand the flopping.
My cousin actually did that once. He was playing soccer, and somebody stepped on his foot or his ankle with one of the shoes, because the shoes are soft spikes, you know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he went because it hurts.
Yeah. Well, a mutual friend of ours who played soccer in high school, he said the coach would actually coach them up on how to make a fall exaggerated, or it's just part of the game. And to me, that's kind of a bummer. I mean, NBA, you see it sometimes, obviously.
Definitely.
Hockey and football, not so much. No.
But
it does detract a little bit from me. But otherwise, it is a beautiful game, and I respect the hell out of its roots. I mean, it is a religion in the rest of the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We are outliers with regards to our soccer fanaticism or lack thereof.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's growing here. I mean, we do have the MLS, which I know soccer fans find that to be like the least competitive of all of the soccer leagues in the world.
I think that's almost scientifically proven, though.
Yeah, definitely. But there's all huge fan bases in Portland, Seattle, Detroit. We have a very small, not MLS team.
Detroit City Football Club.
Detroit City Football Club.
DCFC.
There's huge fans everywhere. We've been to games.
Yeah.
They're so much fun.
Those games are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are.
And wouldn't it be great to tell a story of the people who actually play the game, but no, FIFA decided to tell it from their side of the story.
I found the John Oliver quote.
Yeah.
So John Oliver on his HBO show made fun of this movie back when it came out, and he goes, "Who makes a sports film where the heroes are the executives?" It's so true.
It's so
Imagine an NFL movie about Roger Goodell and his struggles to keep the owners in line or something. Could you imagine? Oh, that'd be funny.
That'd be funny. Yeah, so I guess let's get into this movie. So we start out in I think it's the 1900s? Early 1904? Yeah, okay. So the guy I think who Gerard Depardieu plays is not Gerard Depardieu yet. I think that's the young version of himself. Mm-hmm. So they just founded a league, and they're trying to get everybody to get Britain to join, and they said if they don't join, they will ban them from international play. Mm-hmm. But of course, I guess British people are definitely the villains, or white people are definitely the villains, even though the people they're portraying are definitely, I don't think some of them are white. Like,
and the FIFA executive committee, as we'll talk about later, that was a very white group.
Yeah, Sam Neill was Brazilian, I think. He was supposed to be Brazilian.
He was supposed to be a Brazilian. Sam Neill's character. In the synopsis, I didn't even bother with his first name. I have no idea how to pronounce it.
I don't know anybody of these names. I was watching this whole movie. I'm like, who are these people?
You gotta watch movies like this with subtitles. I'm telling you, there's a stigma about watching stuff with subtitles. If you're not hard of hearing, you will retain so much more information about the characters' names, about where the location names, things like that. I find subtitles to come in handy.
Yeah. Okay. So the final league, British said no because they're racist, and they say
they're
not
elitists.
They're elitists.
Yeah,
they're elitists, and they're like, ask us in 40 years when you guys evolve. So that happens. They make the league, and then 20 years pass, right? And then we get Gerard Depardieu. Hopefully, I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and so every scene that it features that's about the finding FIFA is like God finding Earth or something. The biggest thing to ever happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Is like every scene they do is like happening to FIFA.
Yeah, and this movie moves at a breakneck pace.
Yeah.
I mean, you meet all these supporting characters outside of, what's his name? Rimet is his character's name. Jules Rimet, or Rimet.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention Stephen Fisher's in this movie too. Or Fisher Stevens in this movie.
Yeah, who cares? He's there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the way, like, the supporting characters that come into contact with Rimet, and then the later characters, Sepp Blatter and Avalanche, the characters that support them just come and go throughout this movie. They try and tell so much goddamn story in this movie.
Yeah, his daughter, like,
Annette or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all very muddled.
I do love the old mage makeup they put on her when it was like 1950s.
I know. Yeah, that was great at his funeral.
They just made her look, put gray in her hair, and it's like, that's it.
And I love how all the talk at the funeral was about soccer, football.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to talk about, like, it's your daughter. Like, you're not going to say about how he took you to the carnival or something.
Yeah, games, raised you, you know.
Everything he did for football. Everything was about football.
He wasn't racist. He did nothing bad in his entire life.
You know what? I didn't do any research on him. I have more to say about the 2010s of FIFA, the big scandal breaking. So I don't know. Maybe the early years were more on the level. I would think so.
Because I think, I guess in the movie, if you have to take a movie for fact, he was like, we want all races and creeds to play in this.
Yeah.
So I guess that was true. I mean, Uruguay won the first cup, didn't they? So yeah.
Yeah, they played the first World Cup in Uruguay, yeah.
Yeah, so. Which is the greatest, like, when they won in 1950, the worst thing to happen to anybody ever.
God, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Like, worse than World War II and one combined.
Yeah.
Uruguay won the World Cup in 1950, which I had no idea happened. So.
I didn't either, but.
Yeah.
I can imagine those people's reactions, the Brazil fans' reactions were pretty accurate.
They were bad. They were like, I love the scene where all the Brazilians are standing up and doing the national anthem, even if they're not there. Mm-hmm. And like, they wouldn't do that. No.
Hey, who knows, man? They take soccer very, very seriously.
Yeah, but you wouldn't, like, even if, it doesn't matter, you wouldn't raise up for your own national anthem if you were at home at a bar.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, nobody would. I guarantee nobody in 1950 did that.
You don't remove your hat when you're sitting on the couch?
No.
Good. So yeah, the big part of his storyline, Remé's storyline, is that creation of the first World Cup in Uruguay, which Uruguay wins by defeating Brazil.
Yeah. In like the 1931?
Yeah, it was 1930s. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they brushed past it pretty quickly, but it's supposed to be dramatic because that was in the midst of the Great Depression, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So that was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was 1930, then quickly 1931 the bankrupt, and then a few years passed, and like, oh, they're fine again, and then
right. Oh yeah, World War II was a thing, so we couldn't have World Cups in the 40s, but now we're back in the 50s.
And then they talked about Hitler and like fascism a little bit, saying they were, it's wrong.
Yeah, yeah, they were very subtle about that, weren't they?
Yeah.
The one party goer who's like, well, surely Negroes can't play football.
Yeah.
Football's a white game. And the daughter being like, okay.
Yeah. It's like, you fool.
Yeah, and then he's left, then she and her dad walk away from him and he's left there like, oh man, maybe I was wrong. Guarantee that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hey, at least they're preaching the right message, I guess.
Yeah, I would say, Gerard Depardieu has, I guess he tried the best. He's probably the best actor in this.
He's good. I'm not going to say he's bad. I mean, he's good with what he's given here.
Because I feel like Sam Neill and Tim Roth did not, Tim Roth said he tried, but I don't think he tried at all. Because these are, the most boringest people in the world, besides, I know. At least Gerard, Gerard Depardieu tried to play Jesus. At least his character was I am Jesus. Sam Neill and Tim Roth was we're just executives. We're just
we're just executives, and we're gonna clean up this dirty organization.
We're gonna put the Africans in the game, and we'll do that good stuff, and then we'll maybe do some other stuff that's not so good, but we won't let anybody know.
Yeah, so the Haviland character, Sam Neill's character, gets elected. He beats the incumbent president of FIFA.
Who's also racist.
Well, he's the one that gets mad at Haviland after and says, you're letting Africa into this.
Yeah.
Again, very heavy-handed. Haviland, Sam Neill's like, Africa is the future of this sport. Now let me spoil a little something for you, and I'll go into more detail at the end because I did some research on the FIFA scandal. Haviland was a ridiculously corrupt individual.
Yeah.
He was basically a politician. I mean, he did genuinely lobby all throughout Africa and some of the lesser-known countries and brought them into the organization, which is good. Which is ideally good if you want to grow your organization.
Yeah, that's what the NBA is doing now. They're going to Africa, they're going to other countries, expanding their game, so that way...
True, and hopefully the NBA is not taking a shitload of bribe money.
Yeah.
But that's what this guy did. But basically he won...
Well, you had to ask China, maybe, so you gotta figure that out, so...
Yeah. Another time, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was basically how Haviland won power, was by recruiting nations that hadn't really been invited to the party before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's smart. You guarantee your vote from them. He takes power, and he's in power for a good amount of time. Any thoughts on Sam Neill in this movie?
No. He was just He was just there. He was just a person. He was like, I'm gonna do this thing. Racism bad. And that's it. And then it's like, I may have done some things. And then he left.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
And I love how, like, he appoints Sepp Blatter as his right hand. I hate saying that name, by the way, Blatter. Ugh, he's so gross. He appoints Sepp as his right hand man, and tells him in very clear terms, you've been promoted because I see the hard work you do, but you can be very quickly
replaced.
Replaced if
if you fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very like, okay.
I love how Tim Roth, Seth Blatter got all those sponsors to be like, who's that? Coca-Cola? And we have the Coke pins. Yeah. It's like, wow, really?
Yeah.
And it's like, let's do this. And he got the deal.
Yeah.
Like Adidas, he got the deal.
That the new ball.
The new ball.
Remember
the Tangine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, got the deal.
Got the deal, baby.
Yeah. It wasn't I read a review said Mad Men style. It wasn't interesting at all. He just
oh no.
They didn't even sell the meetings them playing hardball or anything. They just went to a table, went to a shady meeting with some guy from Adidas, and it's just got the deals.
That's interesting you say this because this movie, and one of my complaints about it is the scope. It's too big of a scope.
Yeah.
Less than 2 hour movie. This really is. It feels like a season of Mad Men, story-wise, crammed into 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the story arcs. I mean, it tries to cover too much, so.
I mean, probably a good idea. I watched a movie where it's a movie about, a specific event, but it took place, three different timelines. Well, one is a specific day. So if they would have done one specific day of each time, and it showed the transfer power, and also how FIFA has transformed, that probably wouldn't have been smarter. But no, they decided to span the whole history of FIFA, and you can tell because every 5 seconds you're in a new place.
Yeah,
it's great. I love the transitions. They're so lazy. They're the Hangover. The Hangover just shows aerial shots. And every 5 minutes you get a different aerial shot of different countries. Mm-hmm. And it's FIFA, Rio de Janeiro, FIFA, sorry, but Rio de Janeiro, FIFA, Stockholm, FIFA, Italy, FIFA.
Yeah. What they should have done is had the George Lucas swipes
from
Star Wars.
Yeah.
That would have been great. No, because you're right, the transitions are so fucking lazy.
Yeah, it's just time has passed. How do you know? It says.
Just take our word for it, alright?
Just take our word for it, You can do that by the clothes or anything else, but nope, time has passed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie.
Yeah.
This movie's just got a litany of problems.
That's true.
From pacing to the transitions
to the ham-fistedness.
Oh my god, it was like watching Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Yeah.
I know I always reference this movie, but there were literal scenes where it's what should we call ourselves? Dramatic music played.
Yeah.
The Federation
Internationale
de Football Association. FIFA! And they all stand up and they start shouting and they yell, FIFA! It's so bad.
Yeah.
There's scenes God, what was it when Haviland has his subordinates all around him and Sepp's new to the team and Haviland is actually new as president and he's going around the table telling his subordinates, we need to find money and be creative.
Yeah.
It's like a coach during halftime or between periods in a hockey game saying, team, we score more goals, make more opportunities.
Yeah.
Just so lazy in writing. And
my favorite was when Gerard Depardieu's character is praying to Jesus in the cross, and then
that's great.
Does his dream come true? I have no idea. It's just was that before the 1950 World Cup game?
He did his part. If the movie's to be believed, I don't know. Maybe he was a piece of shit too, but
yeah.
If the movie's to be believed, he did his part.
Yeah,
he did his job.
He found it. He definitely.
Honestly, I am in awe of this movie's balls. I really am. I mean, obviously it's paid for by FIFA, but they present Sepp Blatter as a no-nonsense.
They don't present these guys as good guys at all.
Well, I feel like Sepp Blatter they kind of did.
I feel like they were just guys. They didn't present them as good or bad. They were just we did these things and that's it.
You could argue that maybe, I guess it was an actions versus words thing, and it was just Sepp Blatter's words. For instance, I wrote this down. This might not be verbatim, because I wrote it while watching it.
Yeah.
But this was my favorite line of the movie from Sepp Blatter. quote, a breach of ethics will be severely punished. Severely punished.
Yeah, I don't know.
So maybe it's just a matter of him playing the role for the word, the words part of the game, but the actions are certainly not there.
Yeah.
And granted, the movie doesn't show the actions. We'll get into the actions in a little bit.
So they tried to bring up the vibing and all that stuff, because Wilcox, Jonas Wilcox is like, I need to ask you a few questions, as like set a meeting, and then he released the book, and that's we hear Wilcox. So I found out actually that he played Wilcox. His name was I think Jason Barry. He ADR'd a lot of ADR in this film too. You can definitely tell a lot of ADR in this film. Yeah. And I guess Seth Blatter was there doing the ADR sessions, and they told him to cut it. Because, I don't like the way he's asking these questions. And that's why they cut half his dialogue. So that's why he's not in the film that much.
Interesting.
So he's like, I don't want to seem like I did stuff bad. So he's like, just shh.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. The president of the company funding the movie probably doesn't want his corruption to be seen in the movie.
Yeah, but he didn't make himself be, a very good guy, at all.
No, not necessarily, but maybe it's just me that got this. I feel like the movie, though, with his character was... Basically, they were setting him up to be Tupac and Me Against the World. It almost felt like the whole organization's out to get him. They're not... the rest of the committee is not fans of his because he's cracking down on the illegal things they're doing.
Yeah, but the script and Tim Roth does not make it seem like that at all.
Tim Roth doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he did this movie for the money, basically.
I'm proud of him, honestly.
Yeah, he's just my kids are going to college, I need money. They offered me money, I took it.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
I really am not mad about that.
I am proud of people who are just I just did it for money. Just
you know what? Honestly, occasionally it's nice to see.
Yeah, just be honest. It's that's fine.
Yeah.
We understand that they offer you money. Just do it, and it's whatever. I guarantee you they offered Robert De Niro a ton of money to do Dirty Grandpa and stuff like that.
Dude, the amount of awful movies that he and Pacino have made. They're two of the most accomplished actors of all time.
Because now they're in the phase, nobody gives a shit. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Well, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, we have made some of the best movies of all time. We can just do whatever we want. And, sure, when we die, they'll be like, yeah, he made this movie, but, I made The Godfather. Or, I was in The Godfather. I was in Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Good people don't really know that Al Pacino was in Jack and Jill doing a Dunkin' Donuts commercial called the Cappuccino.
Sometimes, I don't know. I've never seen it. I just am astounded.
Yeah. Only movie nerds or people who really watch movies like that would be yeah, he was in this and this was terrible.
Yeah.
I guarantee you people don't care. It's
oh no, their legacies are cemented.
Yeah, people forgot Dirty Grandpa already until we mentioned it,
And before then it was Dustin Hoffman, or not Dustin Hoffman, although he's in some bad movies occasionally. Dennis Hopper, one of the greatest actors of all time. He was in some real shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they all do it. Anthony Hopkins is in a ton of bad movies.
Yeah, that's true. Brian Cox, the guy from Succession.
Sure.
Ton of bad movies. And he'll yell at you either way. He's like, this is not real acting. I'm like, you were in so many bad movies, Brian Cox. Yeah. Don't complain.
Yeah, I know. Interesting hill to die on there.
That's true, yeah. Okay, so Gerard Depardieu, he's great. He dies. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the use of montages in this film. These are the worst use of montages I've ever seen in a film in my life.
However, one of them gets a point for having Talking Heads' Wild Wild Life.
That's true, but that's a bad song selection.
It's a really bad song selection.
Yeah, it's Substitute by The Who. Only two songs. Substitute by The Who.
That's right.
And Wild Wild Life by Talking Heads. Two songs do not fit this movie at all. Really bad needle drops. Oops, sorry about that. Really bad needle drops. It's just... Yeah. And the montages don't really do anything. I guess
they show people practicing soccer.
They do soccer. We watch some World Cup games.
Yeah, stock footage,
Stock footage, handshakes, deals, and the world's changing or something like that. I don't know. But it's just really bad. There's no reason to have a montage except to expand the movie more, because the movie goes so fast, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, in a movie where it's about the athlete, a montage makes sense, right? Rocky training. In this, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
We're seeing businessmen shake hands.
Yeah.
I mean, the stock footage is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I do like seeing the old school, Pele.
That was fun. Cool. Seeing the 1980 World Cup or something, when Argentina won. That was fun watching the old soccer games and stuff.
Yeah. But no, you're right. They're completely pointless.
They're completely pointless. It was...
In a movie that's already way too fast for its own good, too. I mean...
Yeah. I wonder why those two songs... I think those are the only songs they could get.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I was so perplexed.
Those are not the most popular songs from those artists.
No, they're not.
No.
That's what's even better.
Why Substitute by The Who? That was like the first hit or something.
Why... Yeah, it's an old one. And why Wild Wild Life?
I don't know. Like, Wild Wild Life is a very popular song by the Talking Heads. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I can name, like... That's probably not my favorite song. I like And She Was great. Burning Down the House.
Yeah.
Psycho Killer. You can name like any one of these songs, but like...
Nothing But Flowers.
Nothing But Flowers. Yeah. It's just... I don't know. It just doesn't match at all. Like, this is definitely not Martin Scorsese level needle drops. And those are like...
No.
Yeah.
No, is not.
Yeah. I remember the first time, I've watched Martin Scorsese films before, but I never really noticed the needle drops until like I started listening to podcasts about it. Yeah. I watched Mean Streets. All of a sudden you see Robert De Niro walking in with a jumping jack flask. Yeah. Like, okay, I get it now. He like comes these shits because it's like this is the most self-indulging thing I've ever seen before in my life.
Yeah.
But this was not self-indulging at all. This was just to make the movie go faster and this like yeah.
And it's already a fast movie. You've seen Goodfellas, right?
Yeah.
When Henry Hill's going through that coke addiction phase and they're trying to show like how paranoid he's becoming and all that, they play George Harrison's What Is Life while he's over a montage of him, you know, in his daily activities.
And those tell the story of something, you know, that shows he's going insane. And in Mean Streets it's showing that Robert De Niro's character is a very dangerous man. He's very wild. You know, these do nothing. It does nothing to the film to help elevate it at all.
They don't.
Yeah.
And the funny thing well, I'll get to it with final thoughts, but they don't do anything for the movie whatsoever.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
Exactly. They talked about, like, once again, they touched a few things that are, like, critical of FIFA. You know, like how riots happened during some of the FIFA Cups, you know, like, stuff like that. They touched a little bit on the embezzlement and stuff like that, but once again, they were just like, I don't want to talk about it. And they drop it, and then Seth Bad is reelected, and that's it. Yeah. So that's basically the whole movie. I mean,
really it is.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about.
I don't know about his daughter. Was his daughter supposed to be a major force in FIFA? But she's just around.
I have no idea.
I didn't like how they
I don't think so.
I didn't like how they, made Italian people look. Like that one Italian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very fidgety and like, I don't like how he was portrayed at all. I'm like, I'm Sicilian. I'm like, nope, I don't like this. Not one bit. No.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah.
Stupid.
The middle was bleh. It was just nothing. Because, once again, Samuel was just like, I'm putting Africans in the World Cup. And that's it. And like, I'm good guy. And that's it. And then he goes into a pool. He swims in the pool.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think he said he was God at one point.
He may have, actually.
Yeah, but then when the kids are playing that game, he's like, imagine if God gets the ball.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't get that metaphor. Once again, every scene in this movie is supposed to be the greatest scene of all time.
He was like, yeah, that's what they think it is. That's how they set it up. It's all framed like it's something epic and that it is the greatest thing of all time and that it's profound. Yeah, what he says is something like, imagine if God was in a cloud above a game and basically like if his, God's weather caused the outcome of the game or something like that, would that be cheating? Or I don't know. Actually, I don't fucking know. What am I saying?
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It was bad.
Really bad.
Yeah. And they, I don't know, things happened. They showed we expanded the game. That's great. But we also did a bunch of other bad things that we're not going to say we did, but we kind of did, but we're not going to say we did.
We're not going to get into specifics of the movie, though.
Exactly, yeah.
But lucky for folks, I did some digging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, TJ, get into what the hell the 2015, the FIFA, FIFA problem was.
Yeah, so that's hilarious that it came out in 2015, because didn't this movie also come out in 2015?
This movie came out in 2014.
14, okay.
And, a few weeks later, this happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the timing of this couldn't be any funnier.
That's true.
That's probably the funniest
Even
thing
without the scandal, I think this movie would still be,
it'd still be notoriously bad.
Yeah.
No question. But the scandal is just, it just adds a whole new level of irony or whatever. But basically, so I got these facts. These are FIFA scandal facts. And I got these from a great YouTube video. If folks want to listen to it, they should. Very succinct, very easy to understand how FIFA corrupted the World Cup by Vox. This was from just a few months ago. I like this video because a lot of times when I read about racketeering and wire fraud, to me, I don't understand. It's hard for me to picture what that is all the time. So this video did a great job. But basically, excuse me, FIFA's corruption came to light in 2010 when FIFA announced the winners of the 2018 and 2022 World Cup host countries. Those were Russia and Qatar, respectively. So the way that the FIFA works, or was set up back in the day by Remy, is you have a Congress that's made up of the reps from each country. They place each country that participates in FIFA. They place votes on where the World Cup will be played, but these are really mainly a facade. The actual voting is made by the Executive Committee, EXCO they're called, which is made up of 24 leaders of each confederation of FIFA, some of the senior execs, including the president. So basically there are no checks and balances here. The Executive Committee can allocate FIFA money however they want. Haviland and Blatter very much took bribes from countries, but what's interesting is kind of how that all works. Basically, to win, if a country wanted to buy their way into getting the World Cup, all they need to do is influence 13 votes, right? Out of 24, you have a majority. FIFA moved to Switzerland in the early 2000s, I believe it was, where their finances could not be traced. So that was huge for them. By this point, countries started promising FIFA new stadiums, accommodation, and advertising. This is in exchange, that's like the public bid type of thing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing unethical about that per se. In 2015, October, it became known that Germany had bribed at least 4 EXCO members for votes. This was the first instance of public knowledge of bribery, I believe. These EXCO members were being wined and dined, basically. And of course, it happened again with the South African bid that we see at the end of this movie. When the 2018 bid was upcoming, Russia had publicly announced a pledge of $10 billion. $10 billion in expenditures to accommodate the World Cup. So not bribery money per se, but infrastructure work.
Okay.
And 2 EXCO members later admitted to taking multiple millions of dollars in bribes from Russia. Qatar, despite being incredibly small and never even having a World Cup qualifying team, had huge amounts of natural gas reserves, obviously owned by one person. Mm-hmm. This meant, though, that the country's leadership could similarly just buy their way into the World Cup. And for that World Cup, they pledged $200 billion to improve infrastructure so that they could host the World Cup.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, too,
this just happened like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And luckily they did it in November or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was during football season. But at the time, this was such a bizarre choice because in summer, Qatar could reach temperatures of 50 degrees Celsius. Now, do you know what that is in Fahrenheit?
No, that's like 100 and, I'm guessing 30?
122.
122.
Yes. You cannot be running around in 122 degree Fahrenheit weather. You just can't. I mean, you'll die. I don't care how good a shape you're in.
Yeah, plus they did a bunch of other weird things. They banned beer and alcohol sales after 2 days before the event even happened.
Yep.
For some reason. Do you know why that happened?
I don't know if it was something with Qatar's laws or safety concerns, because previously Brazil had done that.
Yeah.
Or at least tried to, and until Budweiser, who's one of FIFA's biggest
and Budweiser's also sponsored this
happen.
one.
Yeah. So, I think that's the first time that this actually happened. But here's what's interesting. So Russia and Qatar win these 2 bids, 2018, 2022. Both of those governments are authoritarian. Okay? They're not publicly funded like a lot of other countries. So they're spending, I mean, they might be, but they're not overseen the same way. Their spending isn't necessarily accounted for. They can bid whatever they want. And this puts countries like the U.S., England, and Australia at a huge disadvantage because they can easily be outbid. So although the countries couldn't be held accountable, at least after the announcement that that these executive committee members had been wined and dined and, paid off big time by these representatives of these countries, 13 of the 22 EXCO members that voted that year were either indicted or banned from FIFA. Sepp Blatter resigned in disgrace, and voting control over World Cup hosts returned to FIFA's Congress.
Okay.
So, which is like 130 some members, maybe 140. Did that all make sense, though?
I think so. She's basically saying that the executives took bribes from countries to get hosting rights, and then they just took the money. Yeah,
100%. And in a lot of cases, it sounds like Sepp or one of the other higher-ranking, executives there would take the bribe money and then filter it.
Oh, okay.
At least that's what I gathered. I could be wrong, because this movie it would have you think that he was fighting against that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really bad look, and it's really hilarious that the FBI of all organizations arrested all these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. The FBI.
It's crazy.
All right.
Well, yeah. So that's what happened. So that's why everybody's, even without that happening, this movie would still be bad. At least now we understand why people are very hypocritical against this movie.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah. So Russia was in 2018. That was Moscow?
Yes.
Okay, then Qatar. Do you know what the next games are going to be yet? This is U.S., right? Isn't that the U.S. one?
Let's see. I should know, but... what year would that be? 26?
26, yeah, because this one's happened now.
Yeah, I think that might be the U.S., actually.
Okay, so the U.S.
Oh, North America.
North America.
So there's going to be Canada, Mexico, and the U.S.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, I guess the Biden has stopped, I guess, right? Until...
I would assume that if they have any modicum of intelligence, yes, they have cooled down.
Okay.
They have cooled it, yeah.
Okay, so thank you, TJ, for explaining that to me and to our listeners. I guess we should go into final thoughts now, because we've gone through the movie, we've gone through why, everything else.
That's fine.
Okay, so I tried to go in this with an open mind, because I remember the 0% score, the everything behind it and everything. I tried to go with an open mind and see if this movie was at least not that bad. Mm-hmm. And it is that bad. It's just, it's not imaginative, it's hypocritical, it's ham-fisted, it's everything bad you can think of a film is. It's shot poorly, acted poorly, and not hilariously poorly either. I mean, it's not shown well competently, but it's just there's nothing happening on the screen to make you excited or anything. The actors don't really care because they're doing it for the money, and they don't really have a lot of things to go on because they don't seem the characters to be smart, charismatic, or anything else like that. There's no drama because they hid all the drama because they didn't want to be exposed for embezzlement and stuff like that. So yeah, this movie deserves a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. I give this 0 out of 6 stars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're going to make me look merciful by comparison. To be honest, as I was watching it, especially the first half, I was thinking, how is this considered the worst of the decade? Now, it's not good. It's pretty bad, actually.
Now, the worst of the decade would be, I guess that's my understanding of it. Because I chose, there's a bunch of bad films, but I chose a film that we did not, that's not really seen in popular culture as the worst film ever made. Such as Jack and Jill, or Bucky Larson, or any of those, or Birdemic,
Okay.
So it's United Passion that has a 0%, because not many movies have 0%.
Yeah.
So this must be worse than that. And Bucky Larson, Jack and Jill, they have 3%. Some of these films has 4%. This one has 0%.
Yeah.
I think I checked earlier this week, this had a 1%, and then it went back down to 0. So
somebody tried to
somehow this is worse, because Jack and Jill, you can probably laugh at it because it's so bad. And
that's the cardinal sin.
That's the cardinal sin. And this is the cardinal sin of this. This is bad. This is...
Right. It's almost... It's more competently made than some of the worst movies that you hear about.
Yeah.
But it also is to a point where it's a detriment because there's nothing remarkable about it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a thing. At least, I've seen Birdemic. Birdemic's fucking horrible. And I wouldn't argue in a good way. I did not enjoy Birdemic. But at least there were times where I'm scratching, rubbing my eyes. Did they really put together special effects that bad? This movie, be it the direction, production values, the pacing. I mean, this movie is so bloated, bad. It's straight up propaganda.
Yeah.
I mean, it is straight up propaganda, spoon fed to you by FIFA. I do feel like it's not the least competent movie of the decade. I feel like there's got to be one that was made that was less competently made, but there was probably still something more to enjoy in that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie deserves the 0%. Mm-hmm. I just, by default, was going to give it a half star out of 6 because I didn't know I could give 0. But I'm giving it a 0.
Yeah.
You've set a precedence.
This
does get a 0.
I mean,
there is no reason to watch this.
No.
There is not a single time that I was enthralled by this. And the sad thing is, this is a story I'd like to see adapted.
Yeah.
Objectively, though. That'd be great to see a history of the World Cup told.
Yeah, you get to see it from the executive side, maybe from the player side too, the people's side.
Right, and you could concentrate on, maybe just Ramey, and then maybe do a sequel, or make it like a Netflix series.
Yeah.
And then show Sepp Blatter and, his cronies and all the kickbacks they were taking, and show what that how that affects these countries where, these World Cups are being put together. I didn't even mention it, but the Qatar World Cups, the World Cup there anyway, before, years before it actually happened, the projection for the amount of workers that would ultimately die during construction was 4,000. Now I don't know the official numbers. I know John Oliver talked about it at one point.
Yeah, I know some men died during construction. Yes,
but what was shady about it was that their cause of death, because again it's Qatar, their cause of death was listed as cardiac arrest or natural causes.
Yeah,
and cardiac arrest is just kind of your heart stopped, which will happen to all of us. I have a feeling. So to see it objectively told and show this is the ramifications, show what happens to the countries after the World Cup's gone, and that stadium, multi-billion-dollar stadium, is there doing nothing. Mm-hmm. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
This movie sucks.
It does suck.
It gets a 0. It earns a 0.
Definitely.
And what's funny is, again, it's not the least competently acted or directed or shot. It's just so bad. It's so bad that it's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks. This movie sucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guess those were final thoughts.
Yeah.
I guess this is our version of a Roger Ebert review tearing this to shreds. But yeah, speaking of reviews, Roger Ebert did not review this movie because I believe he died. Neither did his website though, so I guess they didn't really care about this movie, which, once again, it's only released in 10 theaters in the United States and even fewer in probably Europe.
Yeah.
So I got this review off The Guardian, by Jordan Hoffman. He gave it 1 star, because I guess they don't have 0 stars.
Yeah.
But we do.
Get some balls.
Yeah. So this is the tagline of the article. Quote, 2 hours of wretched self-congratulatory FIFA history is disastrous cinema, but value proof of a corrupt insanity. And Tim Roth as Sepp Blatter, why? That's it.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, we didn't get into a lot of things in this film. We didn't get into all of them being white, even though some were Brazilians and other nationalities. Mm-hmm. We didn't get into how they wasted the scenery. Even when they showed where everything was, they didn't really show a lot of the great landmarks, the great scenery of the places. So that's another thing. Yeah, but then it goes on to say, quote, it's less of a movie than a preposterous self-hierography, more appropriate for Scientology or the Rev Sun Moon.
Yeah. As
cinema is excrement, as proof of corporate insanity, it is a valuable case study. This would all be a goof if a ripple effects from FIFA weren't so severe. And talks about the death in Qatar's, which you can know that from Meta. Blatter and the other FIFA execs will have the day in court, but United Passion's very existence is a strong bite of evidence of just how rotten and delusional this organization became. Had the arrest inspection not happened, this wretched movie would have disappeared without a trace. Now there's something to scrutinize and learn from.
Nice.
End quote. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy pretty sums up everything.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was very well said.
Very well said. Yeah. I guess let's get into some responses from the actual people who made this film and were in it. The director, Abantine, he said he tried to strike a balance between Disney propaganda film and I don't know what a Costa Gavras / Michael Moore. He tried to make a Michael Moore film and a Disney propaganda film combined. But now after that, people see him. He says that people see him as the guy who brought AIDS to Africa, or the guy who caused the financial crisis.
Well, I don't.
And his name's a mess now, and apparently he just makes propaganda for people who are really bad.
It's a little dramatic there.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, he did make a propaganda piece of FIFA who are really bad. So, yeah. Tim Roth, once again, he said he didn't question anything. He just went along with everything because he's getting paid so much.
Yeah.
He said that his father, if he would have saw this film, would be turning in his grave.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Again, I don't fault him.
Yeah.
I don't fault him at all.
Yeah. And of course, Jason Barry talked about how, he said there was no plan for it to be released mostly. There was no signs of distribution, no premiering in cans or anything like that, which he thought was weird because that usually happens during, a movie. And of course, he talked about how Seth Blatter had his dialogue cut from the movie to make it seem like that Seth Blatter wasn't that bad of a guy. Yeah.
It is funny.
Alright, this did win an award. TJ, what award do you think this won?
Golden Raspberry?
Correct.
Oh, good.
Which one?
Worst film.
No.
What did,
It won a Barry L. Bumstead Award, which is an award they made up for this movie, which is critical and financial failures that were not given a eligible release.
Oh, God.
Which means since it was not released worldwide, this gets its own special reward.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Other winners of this award are Misconduct, the movie Chips, and the Billionaire Boys Club.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We're going to the Oscars. This was nominated for none of them, which it deserves so. Winner of that year, 2015 Oscars for the films of 2014. Birdman won. Or Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Also nominated was American Sniper, Boyhood, The Imitation Game, Selma, Theory of Everything, and Whiplash.
All right.
Top 10 films of 2014 was Transformers: Age of Extinction. Number 2 was The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Number 3 was Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 4, Maleficent. Number 5, The Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 1. Number 6 was X-Men: Days of Future Past. Number 7 was Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Damn.
Number 8 was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
All right.
Number 9 was The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I actually liked, coming out of.
Yeah.
And number 10 was Interstellar. So only one original movie made the top 10. Everything else was the sequels or based off properties.
And meanwhile, United Passions made $10.
Made 10, yeah. Actually, that's kind of true. In Phoenix, Arizona, this film only goes $9, which is one ticket.
Oh my God.
Somebody only bought one ticket to see this movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It premiered in 10 movie theaters, which appeared in New York, Phoenix, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Kansas City, Miami, Minneapolis, Dallas, Philadelphia, and Houston, grossing only $319. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's mostly all the fun facts. That's it. It was a very short page.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah. So don't go see United Passion. Don't support FIFA at all. You know, if you love World Cup, if you love soccer, I feel sorry for you. I'm very sorry this happened.
Oh, stop it! They can they can like soccer.
Okay,
like soccer all you.
Fine, like soccer. Yeah,
football's better though. Like
yeah.
American football.
USA,
USA, USA,
USA. Okay.
Forward down the field, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. I guess.
You know what I did think though? I loved watching the Brazilian fans all cry when they lost the World Cup. We're Lions fans, okay?
Yeah.
So try and get on our level.
You guys consider the greatest, some of the greatest teams ever. So
yeah,
I don't feel bad for you.
Bitching. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're Lions fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta look up what they actually thought of the 1950s World Cup because in the movie it was like World War II, like I said, World War II and World War I combined.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what did they actually feel?
I don't know.
It couldn't be that bad. It could have been like, "Aw, sucks," and then that's it.
Well, the better team won. We'll do it next time.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Okay, so let's play a game, TJ. I actually have one.
All right, terrific.
Okay, TJ.
Yes.
We covered one of the worst films ever made.
Yes.
I now have more worst films ever made, and you have to guess their IMDb rating.
Yes.
Yeah. So, luckily I found a list of some of them, and let's start with the first one I think of.
I'm ready. Oh.
In 1936, a movie called Reefer Madness was made.
Ooh.
It's a cautionary tale, features fictionalized take on marijuana users. A trio of drug dealers lead innocent teenagers to become reefer addicts, holding wild parties and with jazz music. What do you think this movie's rated?
On IMDb.
IMDb, yes. Now remember, IMDb could be tricked too, because it said that Shawshank Redemption is the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah.
So trolls could have got in. So let's see. What do you think it is?
Well, let me start by saying that I do not endorse the use of reefer.
No.
I think that those who do use it are putting themselves and others around them at great risk.
Mm-hmm.
TJ,
is that a bong?
You're going to hell, huh?
I see a bong right there. Is that yours?
I never said I wasn't going to hell. Anyway, Reefer Madness, I'm going to guess a 3.5.
Wow, you're close. 3.7.
Wow,
yeah.
I like that. Okay.
All right. Okay, the next one up is a movie called No Orchards for Miss Blandis, released in 1948. John Blandis is worth $100 million. His heiress daughter is soon to be wed to Forrest. She is a cold, unfeeling woman, despite loving her. Her cold emotional state is in large part due to her leading a restricted life. A low-level thug named Johnny overhears the secret wedding night plans and peddles the ideas for robbing her for $100,000.
Okay. I'm gonna go 2.8.
No.
Aw.
It's 6 out of 10.
Six out of 10?
6 out of 10 this movie got out of IMDb users.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Alright.
Mm-hmm. Next one is actually considered one of the worst movies ever made. Of course, all these are, but this one especially was. It's famous for being one of Jerry Seinfeld's favorite movies, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Ooh, okay, this needs to have like a 7. Hold on, no, that's not my answer though.
Okay, so I'll read a description for people who don't know. Evil aliens attack Earth and set their terrible Plan 9 into action. As the aliens resurrect the dead of the Earth, the lives of the living are in danger. So what do you think it is, TJ?
I love this movie, actually. I've seen this movie. I stand by this movie. I think that it's a lot of fun. I'm going to go with a 6.1.
TJ, play the music.
Ah, dang it.
It's a 3.9.
Okay, then people are taking themselves too seriously watching that shit.
Next film up is considered to be one of the greatest flops of all time. Mm-hmm. So expensive, it caused one of the greatest decades of filmmaking to be put to a stop. Released in 1980, it is called Heaven's Gate.
Oh, boy.
This movie is about during the Johnson County War in 1890, Wyoming. A sheriff born into wealth does his best to protect immigrant farmers from rich cattle interests.
Oh boy, well, let me get the sound effect ready.
Okay.
Alright, jeez, I know about this movie. I've never seen it.
This movie's 3 hours and 39 minutes long.
Jesus Christ.
Cost about $27 million from United Artists in 1980, God. Which is now probably close to, I would say, the most expensive film to be made now. So, about 350 million.
Wow, that's, a lot of kids could have been fed.
Yeah.
I will go with, 2.8.
Play the music, TJ.
I'm gonna get one more of these.
It is 6.7 out of 10. This has now been, it's been revived in some way by filmmakers. Yeah, it has a Criterion Collection. So yeah.
Sorry, I deserve more of that.
Yeah.
Wow, I was way off.
Yeah, so this is 6.7 out of 10.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's been revived.
Okay.
Okay, next one up. One of the most cult films ever to be made. 1995's Showgirls.
What is it?
Showgirls.
Oh, Showgirls.
Yeah.
Well, it's IMDb, and I feel like anything that's decently
Now, this is one of the most popular movies to be ever made, especially in the gay community.
Popular?
Yes.
Okay.
They love this film. A lot of people love this film. It's about Naomi. Oh, sorry. Nomi. Not even Naomi. Nomi.
Is that Elizabeth Berkley?
Yeah. A young carefree drifter arrives in Las Vegas, Nevada to become a dancer and soon sets out climbing her way to the top of the Vegas showgirls.
6.9.
Play this music.
God dang it. This is really fucking with myself.
This got a 5 out of 10.
5?
Yeah.
I feel like basically everything on IMDb is like 7. So, that's why I guessed it. Plus 6.9, you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, you got any more of these?
One more.
Alright.
This movie, TJ, is the movie we just did, United Passions.
Oh,
what do you think the IMDb rating for this is?
1. 1 out of 10.
No.
2 out of 10.
Close.
3 out of 10.
Cold.
I'll play the damn boo anyway. I had an applause one already for when I got one.
It's 2.1 out of 10.
2.1?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So you'll be surprised. Yeah.
Alright, well.
Yeah, that was the game. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks for putting that together. This is for you.
Yay! Alright, TJ, it is now time to spin the wheel, make the deal. So we only have two movies left.
I know, so...
Moonlight and Elephant Man, so this is actually going to be really exciting.
This is really exciting.
Yeah. So only 2 movies left, the wheel's now ready, let's spin this sucker. Here we go. And the movie is going to be Elephant Man.
Yay!
Hooray! We're gonna figure out why the hell they chose David Lynch to direct Dune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
It's gonna be good. So yeah, stay tuned for the next coming weeks for Elephant Man. So that's it. Okay, so I'm Mo, and go! Go.
And I'm TJ, and I'm going to spend the next week or two just memorizing IMDb scores.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
All right.
healthy, right?
Yeah.
All right.
See ya, folks. Let's have Robert Mitchum play us out.
Adios.
Adios. Bye.